Hey guys, so another week, another video. This week has been interesting, to say the least. I've been working on a project that may seem unrelated to my current game at first, but I'll tie it in as we get to the end. But this has to do with a game that you may or may not know of. It's a Flash game called Everybody Edits. Okay, it's a multiplayer sandbox game where you build in a world, jump around, other players can play as well. You play as these little smileys and you jump around the world, do different puzzles and physics and stuff. Now, why I bring up this game is because, well, first of all, this game was something that I started playing when I was, what, like 10 or something? So, that's like 7 years ago. So, obviously, I've played this game for quite a bit in my life, so I need to describe the interesting point that it's at right now. Okay, so at some point early on in its history, the game was really doing quite well, but over time, it started to, like, die down a bit. It went through different owners and different people working on the game, and right now it's at a point where the developers don't even really know what they're doing, I don't think. And they're rather absent and all that, and a lot of people are considering the game to be dying or even dead already. Well, there are attempts being made like to replace the current dev team. There's like some deal that's supposedly going on. It hasn't been announced who might be owning the game now, but the deal hasn't even gone through yet, so it's no big deal. Now, also, I mentioned, I believe, that it's a Flash game, which, obviously, if you have been here listening to me talking about my game, Rotate, you probably know my reasoning for not using Flash to make that is because, currently, well, the web is transitioning away from Flash. Just the nature of how it's built, it has certain security flaws in its design, and the web is just going in a different direction. So there's this HTML5 technology, as it's referred to, that everyone's trying to move towards. Now, the dev team was experimenting with even a closed beta of a Unity version of Everybody Edits, but I have certain concerns when it comes to using Unity to create web games. And my biggest reasoning is, well, even though it has a really good set of features and good functionality, the performance is definitely lacking. On better PCs, you might not notice the performance issues, but on lower-end computers that a lot of the players are going to be playing on, you're definitely going to notice some differences. Now, I did some experimentation starting a week ago on an interesting project. Well, the first test was to see just how bloated the export from Unity was. So I basically created a really simple test just with an image in the background and then 5 little smileys that moved up and down. No, 6 smileys. Matters. Now I profiled it to see how much RAM it was taking up, and it was taking up 400 meg of RAM, which is quite a bit for such a minimal test. I mean, as I said, it was just an image and then a couple of other images moving up and down, and it was taking up that much in system resources. Also, CPU usage wasn't great, but it wasn't horrible. Now, I did a similar experiment with a basic setup using Haxe and a game engine called OpenFL. Why it's called that, FL Flash. It's emulating how you code with Flash, but allowing you to compile to other platforms like HTML5 or a variety of other systems, from smartphones to standalone builds and all that. What I found by making what looked like exactly the same thing is that this one was now running with 20 meg of RAM, which that's a lot different, and it had the same visual effect. I mean, it looked exactly the same. You wouldn't know any difference, except it takes up a lot less system resources. So now I decided to take this a step farther and see what it would do if I actually hooked it up to the servers. The server stack that they're using is called Player.io. It's a service that allows you to create game servers, and I think it works quite well at what it tries to do. So I hooked it up to there and tried to see what I could do with that. And it kind of evolved into what I'm calling, well, what I've called HaxEE. If you can't tell from the title, it's basically taking Haxe plus EE, everybody edits. Now, I describe it as the HTML5 client for everybody edits, made with Haxe and OpenFL, and actually it's gone pretty well. Now, I do have to admit there are certain quirks with working with OpenFL. It's not exactly the most stable library. There are certain functions that are missing. Actually, I'm not even using the latest version because in the latest version of OpenFL there's some bug that's making the rendering really slow in HTML5, so I'm using a slightly older version, but I've also had problems with making like text input, but I've been working on my workaround, and so far I've got that almost worked out. So there are definitely some quirks with it, but overall the performance is quite good with the current setup. Now, I actually released this project publicly on Friday, and quite a few players came online and were messing around, experimenting with my experiment, and just seeing what I did here. And it was interesting to see what they had to say about it. Some people even went as far as to say that it could, well, bring back everybody edits, so I don't know. I don't know where this is going to go. It looks like a couple of the actual devs on EE actually tried it, so I don't know what they think exactly, but if they want to work with me on making this into the real thing, I don't know. It's really up in the air right now. I have no idea where this is even going to go or how much farther I'm going to take it, but it will be something I'll be experimenting with. Now, obviously you might have questions if you followed my previous videos of why haven't I been working on Rotate. Well, there are a few reasons. I've talked about like I've been busy on some projects around the house. I've been just in general haven't had too much time to work in the game. Well, this week I spent it working on HaxEE, partially just because I wanted to see what I could do with it, and also it in some sense helps with Rotate to experiment with a different set of libraries. Like, as I've mentioned, I was building my own game engine for Rotate, but now I'm starting to question whether I should actually shift over to something that's more established that could make development a little bit quicker. So, I don't know. I still have to do some more experimentation to make any sort of decision there, but yeah, we're at an interesting point, that's for sure. But I do plan on getting back into Rotate this week, making some good progress on the game. Now, the point that I'm at in Rotate right now, I have the physics mostly implemented. There's a couple bugs I need to work out. But I have where you can jump around the world, rotate it, and all that stuff works quite well. So I do plan on working on that a bit more this week. I've also mentioned that I have some concept art done, and I actually have some pretty solid designs when it comes to the levels as well, how they look at least. I still haven't gotten to the point where I can experiment with the puzzles just yet. Obviously that's going to be an important aspect because it's a puzzle platformer, but I can't really experiment with that too much until I get the physics in and working and I get more blocks in, because I can't really design the puzzles until I can actually play around with it and see if they actually work. So that will be very soon. I still hope to, well, I'm still planning on releasing the game sometime in August. Obviously, I was initially intending to release like early August, like even first week of August. That seems a little unreasonable right now, but I should hopefully release like by the end of August. So that's the plan right now. So yeah, just gonna keep going and see what I can get done. If you want to check out what I was talking about with Everybody Edits and HaxEE, I'll have links down in the description. Just note that Everybody Edits is kind of in a weird point right now. They're trying to work out certain things, and the game over time has gotten kind of bloated and weird, so it might be weird to a new user to try to get into the game. That's some of the stuff they're trying to work out right now, is how to actually make the game better for new users and stuff. So, but yeah, if you want to check out the game, just see what I'm talking about, links down in the description. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment and ask. Also, if you enjoyed the video and maybe learned something, then maybe you can leave a like and definitely subscribe for more videos from me in the near future. So yeah, I post these videos weekly, every Sunday, so yeah, stay tuned for the next one. And I'll see you around. Goodbye.